Sent those over to my assistant for her to send over here, and she's like, dude, everyone's gonna fucking know you're not a vegan. Look at you. So, thank you for having me, and a big shout to Liz for putting this on, and also shout for keeping it on time. My parents have my 4-year-old, almost 5-year-old daughter today. My mom texted me a photo of her playing Go Fish with my dad. And then 5 minutes later, she said, now he's teaching her 3-card Monty. The fuck? I don't want my 5-year-old learning 3-card Monty. So I'm going to be leaving here immediately and getting my daughter. I've already called CPS. But anyway, so cool. This is my, third time doing this? You really got to try harder to get better speakers. Because you just keep inviting me back, and I keep saying yes, and there's a lot of people better than me at this. But here's my deal. To put it mildly, I don't use PowerPoint. I think it's for the weak. I'm at Peter Shankman on every single one of the socials. I encourage you to follow me. Here's a one I could have used that's actually a truth. I'm 18 credits shy of a graduate degree in fashion and portrait photography. With 18 credits, I lost my financial aid. The government said, your parents make too much money. I said, yeah, but they keep it, and the government didn't buy it. So I encourage you to, I actually do post good shit on Instagram. Feel free to follow me. It's nowhere near as crack-infused as the magician guy, but I like to think that I post some good stuff. So yeah, at Peter Shankman, and I answer my own email. It's peter@shankman.com. You're welcome to email me. A lot of you did last year, and that was cool. We had coffee and went to cryotherapy and Peloton classes and stuff. So the only thing I don't do is schedule my own stuff, and it's not because I have people. It's because I'm ADHD, and I can't. My assistant took right access to my Google Calendar away from me 8 years ago. No, she really did. I scheduled 2 dinners on the same night, which I didn't think was that big of a deal until she said that I scheduled them on separate continents, and then I wasn't allowed to use Google Calendar anymore. But my story isn't special or anything. I just never really got into the word no, right? And that plus my ADHD is pretty much why I do everything I do. So what do I do? And I'm known mostly for starting Help a Reporter Out. Thank you. 8 years ago. Stop thanking me. I started it in 2008. I sold it in 2010 to a company that's now PR Newswire. I've written 5 books, 4 business books, and then 1 personal book called Faster Than Normal, which focuses on the fact that ADHD is a gift, not a curse, and if we have it, we're better than people who don't have it, and we need to stop fucking medicating our kids as young as 5 years old and putting them on amphetamines because they're acting like they're fucking 5. So I'm a little pissed off at the big pharma industry right now, but whatever. I keep waiting for someone to take me out, like some guy wearing a Merck t-shirt when he's gone. But I just think there are better ways than meds. It's the same thing with people who are like, today's 420 day, right? Some guy in my elevator. I was leaving my apartment, walking to my office today, and I know this guy. We've biked together. He lives in my building. He's a cyclist, as am I. And I was like, yeah, it's 420. I'm like, you're 39 years old. Do coke like every other adult. But so what do I do? I run the #1 podcast focusing on ADHD called Faster Than Normal. And we've had Tony Robbins, Seth Godin. I've written a book, best-selling book called Faster Than Normal. I run a mastermind group called Shankminds, which some of you in this group are a part of. Thank you. We have our next big event coming up on June 15th, but we're primarily a digital group. We got about 200 people who are all entrepreneurs and understand that entrepreneurship is lonely as fuck. And so I started the group after losing my second friend to suicide, who was an entrepreneur in under 20 years. Because entrepreneurship is lonely as fuck. And people, a lot of times, we're all on Facebook going, yeah, working at the beach and life's great, and it's bullshit. And we tend to not share the fact that 99% of the time, entrepreneurship sucks and it's hard, and we wouldn't do anything else. But we don't post about the times that we just lost a client, or we just an invoice didn't go through and they didn't pay us 20 grand and all that shit. So I knew I wanted there to be a place where people could talk about that. And so Shankman is about 200 people strong. We're primarily on Facebook. We have video calls every week, twice a week actually. And some people think this is a bonus. I have very bad self-imposter syndrome, so I don't. You actually get access to me whenever you want it. Some people in the group think that's good. So yeah, and also I didn't want it, when I sold Harrow, people were like, you should start a mastermind. It's $20,000. You should join our mastermind. It's $100,000 a year. Bitch, if I had $100,000 a year to blow on a mastermind, I probably wouldn't need it. So mine costs $89 a month, which is like 6 lattes in Manhattan. But That's Shankman. And then I speak, I consult, I'm on planes a lot, and I'm an influencer. Well, saying an influencer immediately douchifies everything else that I've said. So I don't like using the term. But what does an influencer mean? Well, for me, it just means that I like stuff and I hate stuff. I like certain things and I hate certain things. And the things that I like, I wind up talking to people about. Why? ADHD. Okay, if you're sitting on a plane next to me, like unless you fake your death, I don't know everything about you by the time we land. I love talking to people. And so over time, I would just talk to people about a lot of things. And that's how I started Harrow, that's how I started doing everything. And my current addiction is Peloton bikes. Okay, anyone have a Peloton? You got to get a Peloton. Like, I'm literally, like, I'm the guy on the airplane. Like, if I was on that Southwest flight, and oh my God, both pilots are dead. Can anyone fly a plane? Instead of I own a Peloton. Here's why you should get one. I'm that guy. But I'm that guy because I love the product. I never started influencing to make money. I started influencing because I love, if I love it, it must be awesome. So you have to love it too. Right? It's really important that you love it too. It's literally, I see myself in my 5-year-old daughter. Daddy, look what I did. Daddy. 1 second, but Daddy. I get it. That's me. And essentially, that's what influencing is. Because what I'm doing is I'm just explaining to people why the stuff I do is cool. Right? The difference is that I don't explain it to everyone. I'm very targeted in the people I talk to. And that comes down to the fact that I believe a very simple line of reasoning that to have any sort of influence, you have to believe too. Having an audience is a privilege. It's not a right. How many of you have mailing lists? How many of you actually put thought into what you're going to say in those mailing lists and have open rates north of 20%? North of 20%? Good for you. Okay. The average email open rate for non-solicited commercial email, or email that you've agreed to get, is anywhere between 4 and 7%. When I was running Harrow, I was sending out 3 emails a day to 1.5 million people, or 1.5 million emails 3 times a day, and we had a 79% open rate with every email. And when I sold the company, it sold for millions, and I had no idea that it was worth that, and I finally realized that when I did my homework, I realized it was worth that because they interviewed like 500 of my users. And those users were like, oh yeah, we love Peter. We love every email he sends. If we have a problem, we just respond. Every email I sent from Harrow came from peter@shankman.com. That's still my personal email. I bought shankman.com back in '95. And the nice thing about that is that I answer all my own email. And no one believes that. It's really funny. Every once in a while, someone will be pissed at me for some reason, and they'll respond to one of my emails that I send out, like my commercial emails or whatever, my mailing list. And they'll say, "Dear whoever answers Peter's email," and they'll put their cell phone in it, and I'll see it like 2 seconds later, and I'll just call them back. I'm like, "Hey, it's Peter Shankman. How you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, sorry." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." But I'm just of the belief that you treat people nicely. You treat people the way you want to be treated. It's the golden rule. The problem is that not the problem. Actually, it's good for you. Most people don't believe that. Most people suck. Customer service sucks. Think of who flew here recently and had a good flight. Anyone fly anywhere recently on a good flight? Where'd you fly?
I flew to San Francisco.
What was good about it?
The service was great. They were really.
Were you in first?
No.
No? So the service is good, but was it on time?
It was on time.
Right.
Ran smoothly.
Let me
Always the case.
Let me explain to you what you expected. Okay? You went to the airport. You got there super early. You had pre-check?
Yes.
You do. Okay. So assuming she didn't have pre-check, she gets to the airport 3 hours early. Right? She gets on the line that seems to be the shortest. It starts moving. It's moving great until they get up to her, and then she gets pulled for the anal probe. And you're laughing because it's happened all year. And so you come out there like an hour later, a little less dignity, and you're a little shaken up. But it's okay because you got 30 minutes to make your flight now. But it's okay because you're at gate 4, which is literally the gate's right there, gate 4. So you walk to gate 4, right? Try to shake that whole thing off, and you get to gate 4. Except they moved your gate to gate 387, which is actually 4 airports in 6 states that way. At JFK, right? So JFK starts at JFK and ends at Stewart in Newburgh. So now, you're running like across the state to get to gate 387. Your luggage, which wasn't packed right after you got to the anal probe, is like falling out and shit. And you get to the gate. You've had 6 mini strokes, and you get there, and it's just under 20 minutes. They haven't given you You still can get a seat. Don't worry about that, right? But you were in like 4F. No. Now you're in. There's no room for your luggage. So you're never gonna see that shit again. And you've been moved to 37 bathroom, which is a middle seat next to two 500-pound guys on either side who sell insurance. And as soon as the plane takes off and you start getting that forward motion, there's some blue liquid shit that's floating down. So that's basically your next 6 hours. So the fact that the plane was on time, right? You didn't crash into a mountain and they didn't pull you off by your nose. Right? You're over oh my God, this is the greatest flight ever. Customer service, the bar for everything in our life sucks. It is so friggin' low that I don't need you guys to be even remotely awesome. Okay, you want to do influence, you want to get paid by companies to talk about how great shit is? Be a little bit better than crap. Because that is pretty much what we expect today. We don't expect anything good. We expect crap service. My favorite joke in the whole world, two guys are running in the woods, they're training for a marathon, they're doing a trail run, and they see a bear. Right? And the bear starts standing up on his bare legs or whatever, and he's like this. And the first guy's like, holy shit, it's a bear. And he leans down and he tightens up his running shoes. And the second guy's like, dude, you can't outrun a bear. First guy says, no, I just need to outrun you. That's what I need you guys to understand, is that customer service is so bad that if you create influence, if you have any kind of audience whatsoever, right, and you go to a company that you're into, what are you into? Not sexually. Like, what do you like out? What do you do? Do you exercise?
Yes.
Okay. What do you do?
I do weights.
Okay, you do weights. What gym?
Blink.
Okay, Blink. So if you went to Blink, let's just say, and you're there 4 times a week, and you're Instagramming, you're gym Fitspo and all that bullshit that we all do, because if you don't put it on social, did you really go to the gym? See, she knows. It's so true. Like literally, you know what used to happen for anyone under 30? Running used to mean we started running, and then when we were done, we stopped running. That's it. Now it's like, gonna go running, okay? Start Runkeeper, find a GPS signal, start running, selfie, stop running, push it. But if you're already doing that, why not go to Blink and say, hey, FYI, I have several thousand people. They seem to like me. I have great engagement. I don't even need to get paid, but maybe, discount, whatever. Free membership? Yeah. You're being honest and real with them. Okay, you're not being those. And the nice thing is about this, there are so many quote-unquote influencers. I'm BCC'd on a shit ton of these emails because I have a lot of friends who are in the travel industry. And they BCC me on the best emails. Like this woman said, I have about 5,000 Instagram followers. I would like 5 days at your resort in Tuscany. And in exchange for all meals and travel and airfare, I will gladly raise your profile, Profile, by putting, seriously, shut the come on. So I don't need you to be awesome. I need you to be a little better than what these hotels and what these chains and what these products expect, right? That's one way. Just be a little bit better. Learn to spell, okay? You think I'm joking. Guys, remember, I used to see every single Harrow pitch that went out. There's a reason that we're number whatever the hell in education out of the world, right? It's not hard. Take a class, right? Just be a little bit better. So the concept of doing things a little bit better, when you're going to the company, do the most basic and cursory of homework, right? Know who their audience is. Know if they have an influencing program already. If they do, get involved with it, right? Don't go in expecting miracles. Go in saying, hey, look, I'm a super fan. I love you guys, and I happen to have an audience. What can we do together? Okay? Huawei came to me, and for 2 years, they were sending me around the world to talk about their Android phones. Because they knew who I was, they knew I had an audience, and they knew that I wasn't going to write just another boring tech piece. They had enough of those people. My in was that my audience is totally different. Had a great experience with them. Unfortunately, it just ended because Huawei basically pulled out of the entire United States because for some reason our government thought it would be a good idea to ban foreign phones and competition and completely ban any phones made in China. Don't get me started. But I had a great time with them for 2 years. That's one way. Another way is think in opposites. What do I mean by thinking in opposites? So if you look at me, I guarantee you would never look at me and think, he must do Ironman triathlons. You think, he must watch the movie Iron Man while sitting on his fat ass eating pizza. I get it. I don't look like your typical Ironman triathlete, but I do them. I don't win, but I finish. Joke that I don't finish with the Kenyans. I finish with like a guys named Ken. But But here's the thing. Specialized Bicycles makes a $25,000 Ironman bike. It literally, you look at it and it blows away. It's that light. And it's a great bike. And they gave me one. Why? Because I reached out to Specialized Bikes and said, look, I'm not going to win an Ironman. I'm not on Team Specialized. I want to be on your team because you need to sell bikes not just to the 0.00001% of people who win triathlons. You need to sell them to the much larger contingent of people like me, who have much more money than they do brains. They said that's a really good idea. And so now I am on Team Specialized. I ride this Specialized bike in Central Park. People look at me, they bike up to me, like these guys are like weigh 1/10 of what I weigh, right? They're on their bikes, and they're like, dude, that's a great bike, wow. And then they look up for the first time from the bike to me, and they're like, that's just, what the fuck are you doing on it? Did you steal it? Who are you? You know, but that's my thing. I know I'm not going to win an Ironman. But I know that Specialized has a pain point. They got to sell those bikes to more than just Ironman winners. That's right. Well, shit, if Shankman could do an Ironman on a Specialized bike, that bike must be helping him. Certainly not his super fast legs. Let's see what we can do. So that's an idea. Another concept that never goes astray based on that is the concept of self-deprecation. The concept of what's funny about you that makes it different. We live in a world where people spend more money on making the perfect Instagram selfie background than they do on their rent. Which, I mean, don't get me started about how sad that is, but, you know, what's the difference? I'm on my Peloton 5-6 days a week. I live on that thing. That thing's fucking amazing. For those who don't know what a Peloton is, it's a spin bike that has a 22-inch screen and connects live to the internet, and you could take live spin classes from your bedroom. It also has like thousands of classes on demand. And when I get up at 3:45 in the morning, which I do because I have to do something that's 2-hour workouts in the morning help me with my ADHD. They help me focus it. So this morning I was on the bike at like 4 a.m. and I rode for like 2 hours. Finished my, I'm halfway through the ride. I grab a photo like, dying, Dennis Morton's, crazy instructor. But, and I posted on Instagram, whatever. There's actually an app called Manly, which will take the photos, and it's a selfie tune-up app for men. I don't use it, but I just think it's hysterical. I could give myself abs if I wanted to. But I take it in. Here's me on the bike, because at least I'm doing something, right? That's sort of my logic. Here I am. I'm on the bike. I'm doing it. I'm working out. I'm getting it done. Peloton recognized that. Peloton doesn't have an influencer program per se. What they do is they reach out to certain people who love the bike and who have an audience. Right? Peloton's never paid me. Nothing like that. They've sent me some shirts, and they sent me a card. Peloton also has a studio in New York City. That's where they film all the classes. And you can go to that studio. Who spins? Maybe not on Peloton, but who goes to Flywheel or SoulCycle or whatever? How much is a class? Huh? $30 in SoulCycle. All right. Peloton classes, about the same, $30, $35. At the end of the year, at the end of last year, last December, I got a card in the mail. Letter P on it. A titanium card, letter P and my name. I'm like, ooh. And I turn it over, and it says, this card entitles you and 3 guests to any class at Peloton for the next year. So basically, I could spend $120, $130, $140 of their dollars every day if I wanted to, going to their studio and bringing friends. Now, I don't, because I have the bike at home. But you know what? On a Friday morning, 6 a.m., hey guys, you want to go to the studio? Let's go ride. Okay? What happens there? I look like a hero, bringing my friends to Peloton. Peloton gets new customers. They have a code, like you can give and get like $100 off the, if you get $100 and they get $100 if they use your code when they buy a bike. I think that's how they found out about me, because they set an upper limit of, I think it was like 75 referrals. And I wrote my first blog post called 11 Days Into My New Addiction. That's Peloton. And like 11 days after buying the bike, and like by the end of the month, like I had hit the limit of 75, and they'd never had anyone do that before. That's when they reached out to me. I just fell in love with the bike, and I wanted to share that. What are you passionate about? If you want to be an influencer, start with the things you're passionate about. Because the things you're passionate about, you're automatically going to want to talk about, right? It's like any. Who's the asshole in the room who does CrossFit? Be honest. And I'm you. I'm really surprised you haven't mentioned that already. But that's what we do, right? Vegans are the same way. Pilates instructors are the same way. You know, in the joke, a Pilates instructor, a vegan, and a CrossFitter go into a bar. Don't worry, they'll tell you. You'll know they're there. But that's what they do. They are very, very passionate about it. They are influencers. They're annoying as fuck, but they're influencers. All right? God tells you, Craig, how often do I bring up Peloton and Shankmans?
Want me to answer that?
Yeah. Daily, pretty much. I'll always find a way.
Like 30 times a day.
We've had two of the instructors on the Fast and Normal podcast already, but I don't do it in an annoying way. I do it because I love it. What do you love that you can ask for, that you can have influence on? At the end of the day, people want that. They want to be able to share the things that they love. There was an awesome Brady Bunch episode about this. Totally dating myself here. There's a Brady Bunch episode about this where they wanted to give the Brady kids, the Brady family, a washing machine or detergent or something, but they had it really. Mike Brady's like, well, we really have to see if it works and if we really like it before we promote it. Don't go after things that you don't care about. You have to be transparent about this, right? If you're faking it, people are going to know. Who knows the website Tag the Sponsor? Anyone? You lie. So many of the guys here do. Tag the Sponsor is a website that outs the Instagram models, quote unquote, who never seem to have a real job, but always seem to be posting from exotic locales like Dubai and the coast of France or whatever. And they out the models who are essentially, let's just say they might not be paying for their flights, but they're paying for it in other ways. Tag the Sponsor outs them. I don't agree with that, but the fact of the matter is that if you lie, people will know. I encourage you, for anything you do, not just influence, be transparent. If you are not transparent, you will be found out. And I can tell you story after story after story. Don't lie. Don't make claims you can't back up. Don't be the food babe, ever. Just own what you're doing and figure out ways to share the fact that you love it with the world. Be relevant to your audience. Remember, having an audience is a privilege, not a right. It's like wearing spandex. I have a 4-mile race tomorrow. So that's actually another story. I have a 4-mile race tomorrow, and I'm a member of the NYPD triathlon team. I'm the only non-cop who's a member of NYPD triathlon because I did some work for them. I did some work for NYPD, and they asked me to join their team. And I'm like, you guys realize I'm not like fast or anything. And you guys really realize that I'm the guy you arrested for exercising in Central Park before it opened 3 years ago. True story. Google my name. I got arrested for exercising in Central Park at 4:45 a.m. because park doesn't open until 6 a.m., quote unquote. And I asked, the cop said, what are you doing here? And I was sweating and running and in Spanish. I'm like, giving hand jobs or crack. What do you think I'm doing? Which is never the right thing to say to a cop. I learned that. But yeah, so I'm on the NYPD triathlon team, and tomorrow I get to wear my NYPD triathlon clothing, which includes spandex. But as soon as the race is over, I have to take it off because someone goes, sir, you need to put on this bulky T-shirt. I get it. So the key is having an audience is a privilege. It's not a right. Be transparent. Be relevant to your audience. Be brief. We have about a 2.7-second attention span to reach that audience. For Christ's sake, if your emails to anyone, me, whoever, are longer than 3 paragraphs, I will have you killed. There is no email. I don't care what is in that email. If it's longer than 3 paragraphs, I will not read it. Okay, and that's not just because I'm ADHD. That's for everyone. And then finally, be top of mind. Send your audience things that they know. Our previous speaker, Pink, she said something really interesting. I don't remember her name. I'm just calling her. She looked like Pink. But the thing about what she said something that was really brilliant. She said, if you do this and that and this and that and this, how do I know what you do? And she was 100% right. I have the ADHD thing, and I also have my entrepreneur group, and I'm also a corporate keynote speaker. Yes, I do 3 different things. You want to know the difference, though? I already sold my company. I don't need to rely on any of those 3 things to make money. Okay? Understand that you need to have your voice be very, very clear about what you do. That's how you gain influence. That's how you become trusted. And I'll close with a story because by this point my kid's probably selling drugs on the street. There's several stories I could give you. I'm trying to think of which one's the best one that I should share. So I have a love for anything carby, which is ironic because I'm like month and a half into keto right now. And fuck off. And I've dropped anything. Yeah, shut up, Craig. Give me some more popcorn. I'll beat your ass. Anything with keto. I speak at conferences all the time, and like this is the 7th conference I've been to in 5 weeks that hasn't had one non-carb food. But I speak all the time, and while the keto's working, I'm a candy guy. I'm a chips guy, whatever. And when I was training for my first Ironman, I reached out to Jelly Belly. They make something called sport beans, right? Which are essentially jelly beans with electrolytes in them. They have electrolytes. Plants crave them. And they sent me like a bunch of jelly beans, which I ate way before I ever trained. And then they sent me a jersey, right? Sport beans jersey. And so I wore it for my first Ironman, Team Sport Beans. Right? And I'm sitting there, and again, you got to own this. I'm sitting on the dock waiting for the. I've never done an Ironman before. I'm hoping I don't die, praying that I don't die. And this voice comes to me and says, "I see you too, a sponsored athlete." And it was a German who weighed about an eighth of me. And I'm like, what? Yeah, they gave me a shirt. Go away. And he says, well, you're here early. Are you hoping to place today? It's totally serious. Am I hoping to? I realize there's something. Am I hoping to place, sir? I see by your shirt. Your shirt says Cervelo. Cervelo is obviously. You're sponsored by arguably one of the fastest triathlon bikes in the world. So if you look at my shirt with jelly beans on it, you'll see that I'm sponsored by fucking Candy. No, I'm not hoping to place it. What is your time? Well, the same day. I need you to go over there. But why do I bring that up? Because an Ironman is a 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, and a full marathon, all within 17 hours. And maybe 10,000 people were watching. And on average, I must have gotten, hey, Sport Beans guy, Jelly Belly guy, Jelly Bean guy, all right, yay, 5,000 times. Right? And I owned that. And because they all looked at me, they all saw that I looked, yep, he's sponsored by Sport Beans, definitely. Look at it, But it worked. And my partnership with Jelly Belly lasted like 5 years. Right? They said they got more exposure from me running it than like their actual team, which had like world-class Olympians and shit. Right? I'm like, thanks. Because I was out there longer, because I'm slow, But at the end of the day, what are you in love with? What are you in love with that you want to share the joy that it brings you with the world?